SAP button on your television. Back deep for the Cowboys. Jeff Ogden, 85. Kevin Mathis. As David Akers gets things started. Second meeting of the season between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Mathis is driven down at the 23-yard line. 18-yard return. Mike Caldwell made the stop for the Eagles on special teams. Troy Aikman leads the 20th ranked offense in the NFL onto the field. Mark Stepnoski returning after missing last week's game. Left guard Larry Allen, the perennial All-Pro, is still out, missing his 4th consecutive game. Ismael and Jason Tucker making his first NFL start on the wideouts. Emmitt Smith with Robert Thomas, and the tight end is David LaFleur. Cowboys start in a 2 tight end set. First down from their own 23-yard line. The pitch to Emmitt Smith. Out across the 25-yard line, William Thomas made the tackle for the Eagles, ranked 23rd defensively in the NFL. The Philadelphia front four without Brandon Whiting, who was injured last week. And Deion Sanders has checked into the game at wide receiver for the Cowboys. As we take a look at the Eagles defense, Steve Martin back in the starting lineup. 2nd and 8, Sanders lined up against Bobby Taylor. Playing offense for the first time this season. And Aikman's pass is batted down by Steve Martin. So it will be 3rd and 8 for the Cowboys.
What Deion Sanders does to the Philadelphia defense is they force a safety to roll over the top. So Bobby Taylor's going to press him on the line of scrimmage, but because of his speed, there's a safety over the top of Deion. You have to have 2 guys to account for his speed deep.
And Steve Martin, number 91, who did not start last week, back in the starting lineup. Knocked the pass down. Sanders on the sidelines. Aikman calls an early timeout.
I think that the Cowboys wanted to see initially how the Eagles defense was going to handle Deion Sanders and what that was going to accomplish.
Opening minute of play from Dallas will return in a moment.
All right, Captain.
Back in Dallas following the timeout. 3rd and 8 for the Cowboys on their opening drive.
And this is where they've struggled, Kenny. The first 6 games, they were 45%, but in the last 6 games, only 23% in this situation.
3 wide receivers. Aikman out of the shotgun. Pass time, airing it out, looking for Tucker. And a penalty marker. Troy Vincent pulled down Tucker.
The Eagles gave Troy Vincent the job of covering Rocket Ismael all day long today. Ismael's speed was too much for him.
Number 23, automatic first down.
Here's the Rocket. Watch the speed right here with Troy Vincent. Now he starts to separate, and Vincent, watch him come up. He'll hook that hand right there. He hooks the hand and stops Ismael from making that catch. There it is. Excuse me, that's Jason Tucker who had him beat.
38-yard penalty. Chris Warren's first carry of the game, and he is hit for a loss of a yard. So it will be 2nd and 11. Once again, the Philadelphia front four: Mamula, Martin, Thomas, and Jefferson. Linebacking core: William Thomas, Jeremiah Trotter, and the rookie out of Northwestern, Barry Gardner. Taylor and Vincent are the corners. Dawkins and Houck, the safeties. 2nd and 11. Ismael in motion. Chris Warren once again pounding his way to the 32-yard line. Emmitt Smith out of the game. A gain of 6. Jeremiah Trotter made the tackle.
You know, Jason Tucker, you see right there, ran so fast on that interference play that I thought he was Rocket Ismael. And the Eagles said that they want Troy Vincent to go with Ismail all day long. What most teams have done defensively over the last several weeks, since Michael Irvin's been hurt and Ernie Mills has been out, is to roll the corners up over the top of the Rocket.
Cowboys spread the field with 4 wide receivers, including Sanders. 3rd and 5. Aikman looking for Sanders. Al Harris had the coverage on Dion.
Well, Al Harris is a quick player, and he's got help behind him so he can play up close and try to disrupt Dion's rhythm, and that's what he does right there. So this is a go route, and Dion has the speed that should be able to get over the top, but Al Harris does a great job of chucking Dion in that 5-yard zone.
Cowboys cut Richie Cunningham this week. 43-year-old Eddie Murray out to attempt a 50-yard field goal. And Murray's first kick in the NFL in 2 years is no good. He's 3rd all-time in the NFL in 50-yard field goals. And this one off the right goalpost. Eddie Murray, a former Eagle and a former Cowboy, hitting the right goalpost on his first attempt since he was signed earlier this week. And now good field position for the Eagles as they start from their own 40. And McNabb's pass on 1st and 10 was deflected. He was looking for the rookie out of North Carolina, Nay Brown. 5th NFL start for Donovan McNabb. Eagles have gone 1-3 over his previous 4. Only 1 interception the last 2 weeks. Thomas, Brzezinski, Everett, Dellenbach, and Paulalay. Small and Brown, the wide receivers. Staley with Cecil Martin. And the tight end is Chad Lewis. 3 wideouts on 2nd and 10. Staley, a gain of 7. Dexter Coakley made the stop. It will be 3rd and 3, but first, a Fox NFL update. We head to Los Angeles and James Brown.
Kenny and Tim, Stephen Davis of the Skins underutilized last week, making amends today. Gaping hole by the offensive line. 50-yard run to pay dirt. 63 of the 67 yards on the Skins' opening drive. Credited to that man, Stephen Davis, up by 7. Kenny and Tim.
So a good start for the Redskins as they lead Arizona by a touchdown. McNabb on the bootleg, and we'll see where they spot it. He looks to have the first down just across midfield.
One thing you have to do with Donovan McNabb is the defensive end. This time Greg Ellis has got to get upfield and contain him, because once he breaks contain, he can find receivers downfield, he can throw on the run, or he can run for the first down. So there he is. He breaks the contain right there. Now watch how smart Donovan McNabb is. The ball is spotted where he goes out of bounds where the ball is, and see his arm. He holds his arm out there, extends the ball so that he goes out of bounds short of the marker, but the ball is marked, I think, beyond and giving them a first down.
McNabb ran for 4 first downs on 3rd down plays last week, and he does it early in the first quarter today.
Due to circumstances, Ellis, defensive end, down on that play, chasing Donovan McNabb, and then here's Ellis right here, and then Spellman comes over the top and gets his leg. There's Spellman, and there's the leg. Watch, the leg plants right there, and that looked like an ugly injury.
Greg Ellis.
He's been their most productive defensive lineman. We talked about that front 7 for the Cowboys defense in the open and how good they've been all season long.
Ellis leads the Cowboys, Tim, with 7.5 sacks. He scored 2 touchdowns this season. He was their first-round pick last year out of North Carolina.
Their rushing defense has been 9th, but I always look at not what the defensive rank, the total yards is, but the yards per play. If you look at this Cowboys defense in yards per play, they're 5th in the National Football League. And Ellis has been a big part of it. He also has 7.5 sacks. He's a young player, and he's progressed nicely. The good news for the Cowboys as a team, though, is they've got a lot of depth on their defensive line. They typically roll the backup players in. The rookie, Pepe Zellner. They've got Leon Lett back now, Brandon Noble, another rookie. Of course, their first-round draft pick, Ebenezer Ekubon.
A look at early scores around the National Football League. Steve Christie hitting on a 50-yard field goal for the Bills. Stephen Davis, you saw his 50-yard touchdown run against the Cardinals. News bulletin, the Rams are trailing.
That won't be for long.
Indianapolis with a chance to clinch a playoff berth today. Ravens and the Steelers tied in the first quarter. And Cincinnati looking for their third consecutive victory. 3-0 over the Cleveland Browns. But the concern here in Dallas, of course, for the injured Cowboy defensive end, Greg Ellis. Cowboys already playing without their starting left cornerback, Kevin Smith. Safety Izell Reese out for the year. We've chronicled the injuries on offense, especially among the wide receivers. They lost Michael Irvin for the season and possibly for his career in the first game against Philadelphia.
You see Emmitt Smith out stretching up. He put a little more tape on his ankle there, it appears. Emmitt Smith, of course, going over 1,000 yards in last week's game, chasing Walter Payton's record
for total rushing yardage in a career. Pepe Zellner, the rookie out of Fort Valley State, 4th-round draft pick, will replace Ellis on the Cowboys line. Eagles will have a first down just inside midfield in Dallas territory on their opening offensive drive after Eddie Murray missed on a long field goal for the Cowboys.
First and 10, Philadelphia at midfield.
Eagles with 3 wide receivers on 1st and 10. Deuce Staley up the middle. Down to the 45-yard line, a gain of 5, so it will be 2nd and 5 for the Eagles. Cowboys ranked 11th defensively. Pittman, Spellman, Hennings, Ellis, of course, injured moments ago, replaced by Zellner, Coakley, Godfrey, and Hambrick, the linebackers. Sanders with Kevin Mathis starting for the injured Kevin Smith. George Teague, Darren Woodson are the safeties. 2nd and 5. Off the play fake to Staley. McNabb takes off, has another first down, and more. All the way down to the Dallas 24-yard line, a gain of 21.
Donovan McNabb is the most dangerous offensive weapon the Eagles have right now, because this is what he does. Now, the Cowboys come with a 5-man rush. They thought they could eliminate pass rush lanes for McNabb to run in, but McNabb is so quick and he runs so well, he's got great vision, that he turns himself from a quarterback into a running back and picks up another first down.
From the 24, Staley looks to cut it outside, and he is chased down. Kavika Pittman, the first Cowboy to meet Staley. No gain on the play.
One of the things the Cowboys defense has been able to do this season is stop teams' running games with only 7 men, the front 7, enabling them to take both safeties to help with the cornerbacks. Because the Eagles are not very strong at the wide receiver position, Dave Campo, the coordinator, felt he could afford to use one of the safeties in the run game today.
Eagles shifting on 2nd and 11. Staley lost a yard on the previous play. McNabb under pressure, and the pass is batted down by Chad Hennings.
This is really nice awareness by Chad Hennings, who's had a real solid year. He's strong on there in the inside. Now, Hennings doesn't get a great pass rush here, but you're going to see him skate along the front of the line. He's double teamed, Now watch him mirror McNabb, and he begins to skate, and then he puts his hands up at just the right time to knock this pass down. You know, this is where McNabb is so dangerous, when he breaks that contain, as he did there on Kavika Pittman.
Leon Lett in the game for the Cowboys. 3rd down and 11. McNabb again under pressure, and this time nowhere to go. Ebenezer Ekubon, the rookie out of North Carolina, with his first NFL sack.
The Cowboys defense begins this play with outstanding coverage. Here's Kevin Mathis on Nate Brown, and he stays right with him, so McNabb has nowhere to throw. And then, of course, you never want to throw at Deion Sanders because he's so good. And then the pressure gets to McNabb. Nice job by Ekubon.
Norm Johnson, 44-yard field goal attempt. Doug Peterson is the holder, and Johnson's kick is good, giving the Philadelphia Eagles a 3-0 lead over the Dallas Cowboys. $3-0 lead for the Eagles as their kickoff specialist, David Akers, kicks it off to Kevin Mathis, waiting at the 2-yard line. Mathis out across the 25, the 30, spinning to the 40. A 38-yard return, and the kicker, Akers, made the tackle. Good field position for the Cowboys, following the long return by Mathis.
And Mathis is limping off the field, which is bad for a banged-up secondary already. It's nice blocking by the Cowboys kick return team. They make a nice hole for Mathis. Mathis accelerates through it. Speaking of guys limping, Emmitt Smith, with a strained left groin, may return. Right now, Chris Warren has replaced him.
Aikman on 1st down. The first completion of the game, it's Jason Tucker, the first-year receiver out of Texas Christian, a gain of 10.
Now, Jason Tucker went from his college season in Texas Christian to NFL Europe to the Cowboys training camp, and this guy has done a lot of running, but this is his first real chance to show what he can do. You see, he's got a nice average at 16.9, but I was impressed the first pass to him where he drew the pass interference penalty with his deep speed, and on that play there, he ran a nice route in the middle.
Sanders in the game at wide receiver. 3 wideouts, short drop, and a quick slant is caught by the tight end, Eric Bjornsson, for a gain of 9.
And this is what Troy Aikman wants to do with this offense. You've got a quarterback like Troy Aikman who's done it all. He's been to it all, and he has great accuracy throwing the football. Believe me, he likes to drop back on 1st down and throw. And he throws to his tight end, and on the play before, he threw to Jason Tucker. If it were up to Troy Aikman, I believe this offense would do a lot more passing.
2nd and 1. Warren close to the 1st down. Needed to get to the 40. Barry Gardner, the 2nd-round pick out of Northwestern, made the tackle.
You know, that's where the Cowboys offense, another area where they've struggled, is in short yardage. 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1. The thing that hurts them is penetration. You know, watch Steve Martin. He penetrates here, and he gets in the backfield and stops this thing up. And that's how you take out the Cowboys in the short yardage play.
Cowboys only 4 of 11 on 3rd and 1. Making 5 for 12 as Warren picks up the 1st down.
But it was not by much, and it was a nice second effort by Chris Warren. Because again, the Eagles defense did a nice job of penetrating up through that line. I think the Cowboys line is going to be a lot better this week than it has last week, just because Stepnowski's back. He's the guy in the center here, and he makes all the calls, and he's got exceptional quickness.
5-time Pro Bowler. Sanders in the game, play action on 1st down. Aikman rolling right, throws downfield, And the pass was deflected. He was looking for Deion Sanders. Troy Vincent got a piece of it.
Now, this is a matter of Troy forcing that football. Because the Eagles, again, they put the safety over the top of Deion. That's Brian Dawkins. And that enables Troy Vincent. Here's Dawkins here. And so Vincent can kind of just hang out underneath and go for the interception on this play. So you see it here. See, here's Vincent. And now he can float in to try to make this pass right there.
Vincent told us yesterday, I'll treat Deion just like any other wide receiver. 2nd and 10. Aikman fires, and the pass is caught for a first down by the tight end, David LaFleur, a gain of 26 yards.
So the tight end is a position for the Cowboys that has been inconsistent. And if you're inconsistent, then Troy Aikman doesn't want to throw you the football. But the tight end so far today, that position has been good. We've got 2 completions to the tight end, and LaFleur makes an acrobatic catch. And that's something that he has not done on a regular basis, but he's shown the skills to be able to do.
First down on the Eagles' 14. Aikman over the top to the fullback, Robert Thomas, the former linebacker, his 8th catch of the year. Inside the 5-yard line. James Darling on the tackle.
Well, the thing that makes this thing work, Kenny, is the blitz pickup by the Cowboys. Because the blitz is going to come from the backside. And look at Chris Warren right there. Chris Warren steps up and blocks the blitzing linebacker. And that's what gives Troy Aikman the time to throw the ball into the zone that was vacated.
First and goal. Warren in for the touchdown.
This is a great block by LaFleur. If you're going to run to the outside, you have to have your tight end give you the corner. And that's what David LaFleur does right here. He's blocking the linebacker. He uses up the linebacker, gives Chris Warren the corner, and he waltzes in.
Eddie Murray connects on the point after for the Cowboys. Only the 2nd touchdown for their offense in the last 12 quarters. The 50th rushing touchdown of Warren's career. Chris Warren filling in for the injured Emmitt Smith, reaching the end zone for the 2nd time this season. Aikman 4 for 5 on the drive to 4 different receivers.
I think having Emmitt Smith out of the game may have been the boost the passing game needed, because without Emmitt in there, Chan Gailey was more prone to throwing the ball to the wide receiver, the tight ends and the running backs, mixing the passing game up, and it worked.
Toby Cohen with a short kickoff. He's the punter, taken by Dallas native Allen Rossum. The Eagles special teams MVP brings it up to the 25-yard line. Singor Mobley made the stop, a 13-yard return by Rossum. Coming up next, it's the 2nd half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader as the Lions take on Warren Sapp and the Buccaneers in the battle for first place in the NFC Central. Some of you will see the Falcons and the 49ers coming up next here on Fox.
And it was a great piece that Howie Long did on the pregame show with Sean King, the quarterback, the rookie quarterback down there in Tampa Bay, who's so excited.
Deuce Staley on first down, and a good job by the Cowboys defense. A gain of only 1. Pepe Zellner, who is in for the injured Greg Ellis, made the tackle.
Yeah, that was really nice defense all the way across the line. Leon Lett had penetration. Zellner came off of his block. The linebackers, who have great speed, all pursued very quickly to the ball. And that's how you can stop the run with only 7 guys. If you can control the line of scrimmage with your front 4 and your linebackers can run.
2nd and 9, 3 wideouts. McNabb under pressure and picks up the first down. The tight end, Chad Lewis, will not go down. It takes 3 Cowboys to bring down Lewis, a gain of 18 yards.
The Cowboys cornerback, Charlie Williams, comes on a corner blitz, and he just stops. And when you're coming on a blitz, you can't go for the fake. He's going to come from the outside here, and he's got a clear run to Donovan McNabb. And he bites on that pump fake just a little bit and stops. You need to run straight through the quarterback.
Williams replacing the injured Kevin Mathis, who will not return to the game. For the Cowboys have lost 2 defensive starters, and McNabb overthrows the tight end Lewis. Darren Woodson on the coverage.
Well, that's a tough job for any tight end to try to run through Darren Woodson and George T. Well, they were both there, and they both have the speed to stay over the top of any tight end and most wide receivers.
The injury report, Tim, on Mathis, a sprained left knee. So Mathis and Ellis will not return to the game for the Cowboys. 2nd and 10. And Staley is met immediately by second-year linebacker Darren Hambrick. No gain on the play.
That's just good work right across the front. And you know, if the Cowboys defense can force the Eagles offense into being one-dimensional throwing the football, then they're going to have their way. So far, they've done a nice job of really limiting Deuce.
Only 12 yards on 5 carries for Staley. There's Mathis, the injured cornerback. Eagles converted 12 third downs last week. 4 wide receivers. McNabb can't find anyone, dumps it off to Staley, and he is stopped about 6 yards shy of the first down marker by Charlie Williams.
You know what Deion Sanders gives you? We talked at the beginning, the Cowboys defense has him. He takes away half the field. And so you put Deion out to the right side of your defense and you say, we don't need any more defensive backs. So you can crowd the other side of the field with your safeties and cornerbacks, and you have great coverage, and that's what happened on that last play.
Sean Landetta's first punt. Andy Reid told us yesterday we will try and make Deion catch the ball moving laterally. A low snap. And Sanders lets it go, and Rossum could not keep it out of the end zone. So a touchback, and the Cowboys will take over on their own 20-yard line. A 50-yard punt by Landetta. Tonight on Fox, an all-new X-Files, so bizarre and so shocking. After 144 cases, this is the one that should never have been opened. The X-Files, an all-new episode tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Originally, Deion expected to only have about 8 plays in the offense, and Troy Aikman told us yesterday that because of the injury situation throughout the week, it evolved into what he thought would be at least 16 offensive plays.
Dallas lost another wide receiver this week, Wayne McGarity, placed on IR. Aikman under pressure, threw it away.
Nice pressure by the Eagles defense. You know, back to Deion Sanders and what he's going to bring to the offense as he comes out on the field. These are his main routes. A go route where you just run straight down the field. A comeback, which is where you start to run straight down the field and then you stop. A reverse, which gets his ball in the hands of the run game. And then these plays here, a slant, a deep cross, and a shallow cross, which he has not run a lot of, because that takes him into the middle of the defense where the defenders can get their hands and hits on it.
Aikman has thrown 2 passes Sanders' way. He does not have a reception. And Aikman this time looking for the Rocket Ismail. So it will be 3rd and 10 for the Cowboys.
Now, Deion actually got himself open on that play, and that shows the difference between an experienced receiver being out there and a guy who plays defense and special teams, because when Troy Aikman gets in trouble, he looks to the guy that he's comfortable with. Now, again, there's 2 guys, a corner underneath, a safety over the top, but when Aikman gets in trouble, you see that? Deion gets himself wide open, but Aikman's eyes naturally go to the Rocket.
Chris Brazel, number 82, in the game at wide receiver, just off the practice squad. And Aikman is sacked. He lost the football, and it's recovered back at the 3-yard line by the left tackle Flozell Adams. Mike Mamula made the hit, leading to the fumble.
This is a nice rush by Mike Mamula. He comes up and he gets underneath Flozell Adams' pads. So watch him. He makes Adams think he's going to go on a power rush there, and then he comes around to the outside. So he gets Adams to set his feet, and then he uses his speed to get around to the outside. But Flozell does a nice job of not just quitting and giving up, but getting on this fumble.
Toby Goen deep in his own end zone. He's second in the NFC in punting average. Wobbly kick, and it takes a bit of a Cowboys bounce, fielded by Rossum, and he is pulled down at the Cowboys 37-yard line by Pepe Zellner. 44-yard punt, 7 yards on the return, setting up excellent field position for the Eagles.
I think when you get to this time in the season and you see a 3-10 team, a lot of times the temptation is to say, well, they're not going to play that hard. But every player, and there's Andy Reid, the head coach, every player plays hard individually. And I think Andy Reid has held this 3-10 team together based on what they can do in the future, based on Donovan McNabb and how excited everyone is about his talents.
Much different situation than last December when just about everybody in Philadelphia knew that Ray Rhodes would be out. McNabb pump fakes, fires, deflected, picked off, Darren Hamrick. Deflected off the fingertips of the tight end Lewis, and then Hamrick with his second interception of the season.
Well, the Eagles offense did everything right on this play except catch the football. The offensive line gives McNabb excellent protection. They give him the pocket. They give him the throwing lane down the middle. Lewis gets open. McNabb delivers the ball, but Lewis just can't hang on to it. And it's a nice heads-up play by Hambrick. You can only make those plays if you're constantly running to the football. We talked about the Cowboys linebackers and their speed. They have the speed, but they also use the speed. Nice pick.
First and 10 from the 41, a big hole for Chris Warren. Into Philadelphia Eagles territory, close to the first down marker. Troy Vincent made the tackle, and that will do it for the first quarter from Dallas. A 4-yard touchdown run by Warren after the early Eagles field goal, and the Cowboys lead it 7-3. In the book, 7-3 lead for the Cowboys as we welcome you back, Kenny Albert, along with Tim Green. Without 3 injured wide receivers, without Emmitt Smith, Cowboys have moved the ball well so far.
Well, I think without Emmitt Smith, the Cowboys have gone to a little bit different passing game, an inside passing game to the tight ends and the wide receivers.
And at the second catch of the day by the wide receiver Jason Tucker, a gain of 8 on first down as we send it to the Fox Network Center for this NFL update with JB.
Well, the Skins tried to hurt their own effort with a penalty. However, Kenny, they do come through. Brad Johnson to Irving Fryer, his first touchdown this season as a Skin. 7-yard variety. Washington up by 11. Back to Kenny and Tim.
JB, I didn't know Chris Collinsworth didn't take the bar, but I like this piece on the tired arm there.
Warren down the sidelines, penalty marker on the play as Warren is forced out of bounds at the 5, a 30-yard pickup on a penalty marker back at the 40.
Illegal hands to the face. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Left guard Solomon Page.
That's too bad because Page and Adams and Robert Thomas, the fullback, do a nice job here of opening up this hole. Watch Thomas with that block there. That's the key block. And a nice run by Chris Warren to accelerate through that hole.
Dallas, the most penalized team in the NFL, and this will force them back 10 yards to their own 49. Second and 12. Evan Smith still out with that strained left groin. And the play is blown dead. Another marker against the Cowboys.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 81, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's against the Rocket, and you mentioned before the Cowboys the most penalized team in the National Football League, and this has been the kind of self-destruction that has really marred their 6 losses. You know, Chan Gailey runs an offense that where they really want to run first, and he doesn't like to be in these second and very long situations.
All 6 of those losses have been on the road. They're 5-0 here at home this season. On 2nd and 17, Aikman looking for Ismael. Al Harris on the coverage.
Aikman's pass intended for number 81, Ishmael. Incomplete. 3rd down.
Well, Troy Aikman's offensive line does their part on this play. They give him again. They give him the protection. They keep him clear enough. And this is just timing between Rocket and Troy Aikman. You see Al Harris actually had his hand on the Rocket and prevented him from coming back. That could have been a penalty.
Deion Sanders in the game, 3rd and 17. Here comes the blitz. Aiken's pass is caught by Sanders. Knocked out of bounds, 8 yards shy of the first down marker by Allen Rawson. His first reception of the season.
And again, Deion, this is a shallow crossing pattern. This is why you would be a little hesitant to have Deion run this kind of a route, because now he catches it here. It gives him the opportunity to make something happen, but it also gives the opportunity for the defense to really lay the wood to him. And that's what Rossum and Troy Vincent are doing right here. Watch, Rossum gets a hold of him, and watch Vincent come in. Whack. I mean, they pound it. And there was a face mask on that penalty, too, that the officials didn't see. Well, that will wear you out. Those kind of hits will tire you out.
In fact, Gailey told us yesterday, depending on how many plays Sanders plays offensively, they might keep him out of the series on defense. Although they lost their starting left cornerback, Kevin Mathis.
Yeah, and that may be a factor.
Offense, number 93, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, so far, the Eagles' defense has done a really nice job of containing Deion Sanders. And their strategy of putting a guy up and pressing him with a safety over the top has really disrupted him and not allowed him to be a factor so far.
Allen Rawson waiting at his own 10-yard line. Toby Gowen's second punt. Good hang time and a fair catch by Rawson. 42-yard punt by Toby Gowen. Back in Dallas, Kenny Albert with Tim Green, 7-3 lead for the Dallas Cowboys as the Eagles start from their own 10-yard line. Donovan McNabb handing it off to Deuce Staley. Looks to cut it back inside. A penalty marker on the play as Staley is hit for a loss of 1 by Chad Hennings. And the Eagles called for holding, so they will be forced back even deeper.
Deuce Staley on the carry, tackled by Chad Hennings. Flags down on the play.
Holding, offense number 71. Penalty is declined, 2nd down.
Well, the Dallas defense is determined to clamp down on the run here. We talked before about how they stopped most of their runs with 7 men, but on that last play, they brought Darren Woodson up and created an 8-man front.
And the Cowboys took the play, declined the penalty, so the Eagles lose it down. Staley up the middle on 2nd and 10 for a gain of about 4 yards. Kavika Pittman made the tackle.
So far, this Dallas defense has done exactly what the Eagles feared they would do, and that is really limit their running game and forcing Donovan McNabb into these known passing situations. The thing that McNabb has done to answer the call has been to scramble for first downs.
Leon Lett in for the Cowboys, 3rd and 6. 3 wide receivers set for the Eagles. Shovel pass, and Staley is met by the free safety, George Teague.
Well, George Teague has man coverage, and so he comes up here from the outside and makes a great hit here. See it right there. He's trailing Deuce Staley anyway, and so when the shovel pass goes to Staley, he's on him instantly, and it's a nice tackle. And that was the knock on George Teague, is that he wasn't a good tackler, and this year he's tackled better than he ever has.
Short punt by Landeta. Took a Cowboys bounce. Only 24 yards on the punt. Who have not lost at home here at Texas Stadium, Tim. They have outscored their opponents by an average of 29-9.
Yeah, and you look at this right here, 19-point margin of victory at home.
Only 1-6 on the road. Their only win, the season opener in Washington. They have lost their last 6 road games. Aikman hitting the tight end LaFleur. His second catch. William Thomas made the stop after a gain of 6.
And again, Troy Aikman throwing to a different group of receivers. LaFleur again with a catch. We saw Bjornson have a catch. We saw a ball go to Robert Thomas, the fullback, although the play didn't continue. See there, the distribution has been much more to the tight ends and running backs than it has to the wide receiver.
2nd and 4 as Hollis Thomas breaks through to make the tackle on Chris Warren, a loss of 3.
Well, Everett McIver, who's got a bad neck, has just got to make this cutoff play. He's got to cut off Hollis Thomas here, and he doesn't get his head across Thomas's body. And Thomas did a great job of accelerating upfield. He's a big man, and he does have nice acceleration upfield.
4 wide receivers, including Sanders. 3rd and 6. Aikman out of the shotgun, and Dion able to make the catch. Al Harris says no. Looks as if Dion made the catch. He did, but is about a yard shy of the first down. Nice catch by Sanders.
Yeah, it was a really nice catch. Watch Dion again. He's just going to break on an in pattern here. And it's nice coverage, but Dion does a great job of hanging on to that football. And now the Cowboys are in 4th and 1, and this is where they've struggled as well. We've talked about a 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1. Short yardage is where they have not had success, especially running the ball.
Warren, first down and more. Barry Gardner finally brought him down. He needed 1 and picked up 9.
Well, Robert Thomas is doing a great job as a fullback. He's a guy who used to be a linebacker. Watch him come and put the block on the blitzing linebacker right there. So he freezes the linebacker, and that's what really springs the hole. And also, Flozell Adams did a nice job of staying on his block.
Warren doing a nice job filling in for Emmitt Smith. 8 carries, 28 yards. Aikman on first down, and Ismael dropped it. Thought about running before he caught the ball. And right now for another Fox NFL update, James Brown, take it away.
Hey, the rookie cornerback for the Redskins, Champ Bailey, really has a Cardinals number as he picks off Jake Plummer here. He had 3 against the Cards in the last meeting, 4 of his 5 picks this season against the Cardinals. Back to Kenny Albert and Tim Green.
JB, we saw Jake Plummer last week throw 4 potential interceptions that the Eagles linebackers just flat out dropped.
And they worked on their pass catching in practice this week. The Eagles linebackers. Warren down to the 16-yard line. Jeremiah Trotter made the tackle, a gain of 6.
I tell you, Robert Thomas is really having a good football game. If you have a 2-back running formation, you have to have a fullback that can block. And so far, every time today, watch him on this block here. Every time today, he has blocked his man decisively. He hasn't just gotten in the guy's way. He's blocked decisively and made it easy for Chris Warren to make a decision to run straight ahead.
He played linebacker last year, also with the Rhine Fire in NFL Europe, converted by the Cowboys this season. Warren on 3rd and 4. And he is just shy. Needed to get to the 11-yard line. Jeremiah Trotter made this tackle. Warren filling in for the injured Emmitt Smith, who carried the ball once and is out with a strained left groin. This time the Cowboys will not go for it on 4th down. Eddie Murray, who was working as the sideline reporter on Detroit Lions radio broadcasts up until this week, when he was brought back in by the Cowboys. This a 30-yard attempt. And Murray is 1 for 2. Two-time Pro Bowler, 43 years of age. And the Cowboys extend their lead. It is now 10-3. Welcome back, Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Cowboys with a 10-3 lead following the 30-yard field goal by Murray. Eric Bieniemy in front of Allen Rossum out of Skyline High School here in Dallas. Awaiting Goins' kickoff. Rossum from the 1. Looked to cut it to the near side. And then he was met by Wendell Davis. Only a 16-yard return by Rossum. Other action in the NFC East. 4 teams all within 1 game in the standings. Giants 6-6, leading Buffalo 6-3. Washington 7-5 in first place on top of Arizona.
And if you look at the remaining games, really the Cowboys have the easiest schedule. The Giants probably have the toughest schedule with the Rams, the Vikings, and the Cowboys. But if the Cowboys can win today, they're going to be in good position.
The catch pass is caught by Nay Brown for a first down. Brown's first catch of the game, a gain of 11 yards.
Pass complete to number 80, Torrance Small.
Well, Torrance Small actually was the guy on that, but you're confused just because they switched sides. Torrance Small was on the left. Typically he's on the left. Nay Brown's on the right. But whoever's on the left side today knows they're not going to get any action. So Torrance Small gets to run this slant pattern over here. Now this play here, they put him back to the left with Dion's on him, and he's not going to see any action.
Our apologies to Torrance Small. And again, Staley is bottled up. Dexter Coakley, the first Cowboy to make the hit on Staley.
Dexter Coakley ties the team with interceptions. He's got 4. And again, it's about having speed. These linebackers for the Cowboys are not big. Although Quentin Coriat, who they brought back this week, may play, he's the biggest one. The rest of the guys, though, are very fast and very active.
Second and 7. This time it's Nay Brown. Taken down at the 34-yard line by DeJuan Hawthorne after a gain of 4.
It was nice coverage by DeJuan Hawthorne because he had to really come all the way across the field. He's playing left cornerback, and Nay Brown ran a drag route all the way across the field, and Hawthorne did a nice job of staying with him and then making the tackle.
Tim, the Eagles playing without their left tackle, Trey Thomas, who suffered a sprained groin. Lonnie Pollelay has moved over to the left side. McNabb in trouble. George Teague on the safety blitz, forcing McNabb to throw it away.
You know, the thing that makes this blitz so beautiful for the Cowboys is the timing of the safeties. Watch how Teague and Woodson kind of come up and time this perfectly. Watch this. And then they hit the line of scrimmage at the exact time. So Teague is on Donovan McNabb instantly.
Deion Sanders working the crowd. Sean Landetta's last punt was only 24 yards. Low snap.
Look out.
Sanders. Only a 2-yard return by Deion. Terrific coverage by the Eagles special teams unit, led by Mike Caldwell.
If you stop Deion, it's something to celebrate about.
Washington 14, Arizona 3.
Are they getting ready to watch the primetime lineup?
Absolutely. There's no doubleheader here in Dallas today, so they'll be able to have plenty of time to get to it.
That's right. The folks watching here in Dallas will not see a late game. LaFleur with the deflection, and then Ismael nearly came up with the acrobatic catch.
I mean, you see Troy Aikman continuing to throw to David LaFleur because LaFleur has 2 receptions already. And if you catch Troy Aikman's footballs in the beginning of the game, you know, he'll begin to throw to you. Well, that would have been a difficult catch for LaFleur to make, so I don't think Aikman's going to hesitate to continue to throw his way.
3 wide receivers, 2nd and 10. Aikman over the top, intended for LaFleur, knocked down by Jeremiah Trotter.
Aikman's pass intended for LaFleur.
Now that was nice awareness by Jeremiah Trotter. We talked about the Cowboys linebackers, and Trotter's a guy who I think could play on the Cowboys team. He's that type of a linebacker.
He grew up here in Texas.
Yeah, he runs around a lot. Here he is right in the middle of the field. But watch how he reads Aikman. He drops back, and then he reads his eyes, and he makes a nice break on the ball to get his hand on that pass and knock it down. See that? That's all about quickness and reaction, and Jeremiah Trotter has that.
3rd and 10, 4 wideouts. Aikman can't find anyone. He takes off. He is no Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, you don't, and Troy Aikman looked like he caught a shot to the head there too, and with his concussion problems, you know, he needs, if he's going to get out there, he needs to slide. And like you said, he's not Donovan McNabb. He's a ferocious competitor. The Eagles only rush 3, so there's 8 in coverage. He's got nowhere to go, and it's a great temptation. But watch here, he doesn't slide because he wants to get that first down. But see the shot he takes? Trotter just nails him.
Alan Rossum awaiting Goins' punt. Penalty marker as Rossum let it bounce. 45-yard punt by Goin. And it's against the Cowboys.
Flags down on the play.
Ineligible player on the kicking team downfield, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Leon Lett.
And one thing you never want to have to do is kick that thing over again. Troy Aikman. You can't tell someone like Troy Aikman, though, not to try to run to pick up the first down when he sees an open field, even though that's not his strength, because the other strength that he has is that he's such a competitor and he has such a burning desire to win and to get back to the Super Bowl and feel that ultimate high of playing in the National Football League.
He's 3 for 3 in Super Bowls. Another opportunity for Rossum, but he calls for the fair catch. back at the 16-yard line. A 50-yard kick by Goen. Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, it's another battle in the NFC East as the Redskins take on Peyton Manning and the Colts, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on Fox.
The NFC is such a tight race this year with everyone that this time of year all these games take on significance, and all of them are interesting and fun to watch. And you pull out all the stops as a player, and if you're Deion Sanders, heck, you're going to play defense and special teams, and you're going to play offense, and you do everything you can do to get to those playoffs.
Eagles start from their own 16-yard line. McNabb to the air on first down. Incomplete.
Again, nice coverage by the Cowboys secondary downfield, and talked about Deion Sanders and talked about Troy Aikman being a ferocious competitor, and Deion doing everything that he can possibly do to help win this thing. And here it is. He's got 8 of the 28 offensive plays, 22 of 22 on defense, and 3 of the 12 special teams plays. And that really takes its toll on your body throughout a Sunday afternoon.
So he has not taken off a play defensively due to the injuries suffered by Kevin Smith, who is inactive, and Kevin Mathis, who was injured earlier. And he's played 8 offensive plays as well.
And Charlie Williams did a nice job covering Nate Brown on that last play. Donovan McNabb had nowhere to throw to.
You played with Deion Sanders in Atlanta. What was it like to be around him every day?
He's a great guy. He's a wonderful guy in the locker room. He's a great friend to everyone on the team. He's humble. He's wonderful. I can't say enough good things about him.
McNabb on third down, and the catch was made by Nate Brown close to the first down marker. He needed to get to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, I think he's short. It was a nice route, except it was a little bit short. That's a rookie throwing to a rookie, and this is Nate Brown's opportunity here as he runs this out cut to develop some rapport in these last games of this season with Donovan McNabb. And he makes a nice catch, but he comes up a little short. I'm probably the only person that's ever said Deion Sanders and talked about his humility. But he really is. I mean, I think there's 2 Deions. I think there's one Deion Sanders, the person, and then there's Deion Sanders, the primetime image.
And it really is the same guy. This one rolls to the 28-yard line, a 47-yard punt by Landeta. There have been reports in recent weeks that Deion may want to give baseball a try once again.
Well, yeah, he said that to us. I asked him if he wanted to come on a fishing trip that a bunch of ex-Falcons go to every year in upstate New York, and he said, I'd like to do it if I don't pick up the stick. Of course, you being a multi-sport announcer, you knew immediately what that meant. And then it said, I guess he also told Peter King that he might also want to be on the Fox pregame show. And then they talked about it this morning. Talked about Chris Collinsworth maybe losing his seat and having that filled in with Deion.
Terry Bradshaw very quick to press the exit door.
Terry makes all the decisions.
Even regarding Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, everything that happens on the pregame comes through Terry.
Prior to the snap, false start offense, number 81, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the second penalty flag on Rocket Ismail today.
And I think the guys on the pregame really like Chris Collinsworth, though, but you have to have thick skin out there in L.A.
Troy Aikman was in the studio 2 weeks ago with the guys.
And he talked about how a wet ball really affects him, and the Cowboys are glad that today that it is not raining the way it was here yesterday in Dallas.
First and 15. Aikman can't find anyone. Again takes off, and this time runs it out of bounds.
Forced out of bounds by number 52.
Kenny, last week in the first half, the Cowboys were miserable on offense. 41 total yards, 1.6 yards a play, 3 points. These 3 points really came off of a Dexter Coakley interception. And then this week they've been pretty good. 110 yards, 3.1, and then they've gotten 10 points. So a much better offensive output, and all that without Emmitt Smith.
Last week, a 13-6 loss to the Patriots. Today, a 10-3 lead over the Eagles. Fox. Only once in their last 9 trips to Dallas. They trail by a touchdown. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, and Chris with scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. Have they made way for Deion Sanders by eliminating Howie?
No, I think he's just got the flu.
Oh, okay. His name was off that graphic. Aikman to Ruckin Ismail, his first catch of the game. And the Cowboys first down.
Boy, the Cowboys line did a great job of picking up this blitz. And Troy Aikman did an even better job by spinning out of the blitz. Watch the Eagles come up here, and they bring the pressure right up those A-gaps. And watch it here. Here come both linebackers and the safety right there, that bunch. And one of them gets through, and watch Troy Aikman just spin out. And that frees up him, and it frees up the Rocket.
A gain of 17 for the NFC's 4th leading receiver. Aikman to Chris Warren. Another first down into Philadelphia territory. A gain of 13 yards. And the Cowboys call timeout. They have 1 remaining.
Well, this is a different passing game than we've seen the Cowboys use in recent weeks. And they've mixed it up a lot more. They've had trouble at the wide receiver spot with injuries. We said Ernie Mills and McGarity, and of course Michael Irvin. And I think they've done a nice job, Chiangeli and Aikman together, throwing to these underneath guys, throwing to the running backs and throwing to the tight ends, and picking up a lot of positive intermediate yardage.
How important is this game for the Dallas Cowboys? They are one of 3 teams tied at 6-6, 1 game behind the Redskins.
And I think for the Cowboys to elevate themselves to the top, get to the playoffs, more importantly, as Chiangeli said, to advance all the way to the Super Bowl, they have to get this passing game well. The passing game has to evolve in something much better than it's been.
3 wide receivers from the 44-yard line. Oh, big hit on Eric Bjornsson.
Wow.
By Al Harris.
That's what you dream about it. As a cornerback, you know, you're back there, and this is a blindside shot because Bjornsson just stops right here, and as he turns around, Al Harris is there and just slams it. That's pretty good stuff, you know. I mean, you seek that out as a lineman or a linebacker. If you get it as a cornerback, it's real special.
Aikman's pass deflected and nearly picked off. Mike Reese was one of the linebackers who nearly had an interception last week, but could not hang on.
The Eagles come with 3 down linemen, and then they bring the linebackers in. And it's Hollis Thomas who gets his hands on this thing, but it's a 3-man front with 2 linebackers. They're doing the same thing right now.
3rd and 10 from the 44. Aikman's pass is caught for a first down. Jason Tucker down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 19 yards.
I think Jason Tucker is really starting to establish Troy Aikman's confidence in him. This is the 3rd reception he's had, and don't forget he drew that pass interference penalty earlier.
Aikman's pass knocked down by Al Harris and a penalty marker. Jeff Ogden was the intended receiver. Harris doesn't agree.
Well, we saw Harris get away with a hold before on the Rocket when Rocket came back on a comeback route, And this time he didn't get away with it.
Holding, defense number 21, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They're calling that against Bobby Taylor. I don't know if they just mixed up the numbers. Which happens from time to time.
39 seconds remaining. Only the second Eagles penalty. Cowboys on the move, leading by a touchdown. Aikman looking in zone, looking Ismael. Climbing up his back was Troy Vincent.
Aikman's pass intended for Rocket Ishmael, incomplete. Defense by number 20.
Eagles defense came with a blitz off the corner. Troy Aikman, I think, senses it coming, releases this ball. There's the blitz right there, and it gets on him. And that would have been a tough one to catch, but they've come to really rely on Rocket Ismail.
Two tight ends for the Cowboys. And Aikman's pass is caught by Ismael. Tim Houck made the stop. Clock continues to run. Cowboys have one timeout remaining.
The Eagles defense is really pouring the heat on Troy Aikman. They've blitzed him for the last 3 plays in a row. Probably blitz him again.
3rd and 7. No flag, yes, a late flag as Bobby Taylor made contact with Tucker.
The Eagles think it's against Tucker.
The pass was uncatchable. There was no foul on the play. 4th down.
So the Cowboys will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Flag is picked up because the pass was uncatchable.
Here's Tucker here. There's the interference, but yeah, that pass, and the pass was uncatchable because, again, the Eagles came with the all-out blitz, and Aikman had to throw it away sooner than he wanted to.
Eddie Murray 1 for 2. This a 34-yard attempt, and Murray's kick is good. So the Cowboys, who have missed more field goals than any other team this year, they've missed 10, hit on 2 of 3 in the first half, and extend their lead. It is now Dallas 13, Philadelphia 3.
Well, they cut their kicker, Richie Cunningham. They brought Eddie Murray in. He's made 2 of 3, and the one he missed was a 50-yarder that hit the upright, so even that was close.
Deion Sanders, 2 receptions in the first half. Troy Aikman has thrown for 134 yards. Emmitt Smith left early in the first quarter due to a sprained left groin. Cowboys lost 2 defensive starters as well, but they still lead, looking to keep intact their perfect home record. Only 46 passing yards for Donovan McNabb, and the Eagles, who have managed to put only 3 points on the board as they trail the Cowboys 13-3.
And the Cowboys defense has done a nice job limiting the Eagles run game, forcing McNabb in the passing game.
The Visa halftime report is next after this message and a word from your local Fox station.
His running backs and his tight ends in that intermediate area of the football field.
Aikman connecting on 12 of 25 pass attempts for 134 yards. Chris Warren with the game's only touchdown.
Yeah, Warren's done a nice job filling in. There's Deion keeping that groin and hamstring that's bothered him, keeping those things warm. And I think on the other side of the ball, the Cowboys defense has done a nice job of shutting down the Eagles run game and forcing McNabb into being a one-dimensional offense.
Second half underway here in Dallas. Allen Rossum takes it out of the end zone. Rossum hit as he crosses the 15-yard line by Chris Akins, the rookie safety out of Arkansas Pine Bluff. So the Eagles will start at their own 18-yard line. Donovan McNabb in the first half, 6 of 13. And he was also their leading rusher.
Right, and that's not a good sign. And then the leading receiver, Chad Lewis, a tight end, with only 1 catch for 19 yards.
Brown and Staley with 2 catches each.
Yeah, but Lewis with the most yardage of any receiver with only 19.
McNabb on first down, intended for Nay Brown. Charlie Williams on the coverage.
He got away with one, and this is a bad sign for the Cowboys, who already have injuries. Kevin Williams is out. Kevin Mathis hurt his knee. And again, that's just timing on this pattern between Donovan McNabb, a rookie quarterback, Nay Brown, a rookie wide receiver. And as I said before, Nay Brown needs to use this time over these last 4 weeks of his first NFL season to develop a rapport with Donovan McNabb. If he can do that, he'll have a job for a good many years, because Donovan McNabb is the real thing. And he will be around and will be a force, and I think he's going to make this Eagles team a force. Right now, though, the Eagles don't have a receiving core that can really challenge a secondary of the caliber that the Cowboys are putting out there on the field.
Rookie DeJuan Hawthorne replacing Williams, who was replacing Mathis, who was replacing Smith. Down to the 4th string. First carry of the game for Edwin Watson, the backup fullback out of Purdue. Kavika Pittman made the tackle.
And once again, I mean, you can't underestimate the value of the Cowboys front 7. What they do on the line, and they lost Greg Ellis, and how much depth they have. They're able to bring in backup players who have a lot of experience playing this season.
3rd and 4, 3 wide receivers. McNabb stumbles. Flag on the play. And McNabb picks up the first down, but a penalty marker. It's holding against the Eagles.
Donovan McNabb is amazing, though. It doesn't matter that this is going to come back, to be able to appreciate the skills of Donovan McNabb.
Holding, offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Lonnie Palale. Palale, of course, taking over for the injured Trey Thomas, and he's got Ebenezer Ekubon, and he does tackle him at home. But look at Donovan McNabb's balance, and now look at his acceleration. He accelerates for what would have been a first down.
Instead, 3rd and 14. More penalty markers. Torrance Small, the wide receiver on the near side, may have jumped.
Delay a game. On the defensive team, number 21 came into the neutral zone and caused the offense to false start. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So Small did jump, but Sanders moved first.
Yeah, that's the flinch rule, we call it. And there he's showing you what he did. In case you can't see it, he's down here. And you'll see him get up there, and boy, I don't know about that. I didn't see any kind of flinch. Unless it happened before the replay started.
Eagles only 1 3rd down conversion today. 3rd and 9. McNabb taken down. Alonzo. Oh, he stays on his feet. Alonzo Spellman had him wrapped up. And the second effort by McNabb, and he is still about 9 yards shy of the first down.
I said to someone before the game, you know, Donovan McNabb is a defensive lineman's nightmare. Alonzo Spellman does what he's supposed to do. He comes up here, up the middle. He gets his arms wrapped right around McNabb, and he still loses them. So he's not going to get that sack. Ebenezer Ekubon is going to get credited with that sack. It was in his hands, and he lost it.
Dion again working the crowd as the punt bounces to Dion at the 41. Only a 2-yard return earlier, and the same thing this time. Again, terrific special teams coverage by Mike Caldwell.
strike.
13-3 lead for Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys. They begin in a 3-wide receiver set from their own 42-yard line. Chris Warren. And he's bottled up, no gain. Mike Mamula was the first Eagle to wrap him up.
Chris Warren.
Warren leading the Cowboys on the ground in the absence of Emmitt Smith. 10 carries, 36 yards, and the game's only touchdown.
And then Jason Tucker right here, who's a rookie. As I said, I think he's made a little place for himself in Troy Aikman's heart in this game.
Drafted by Cincinnati, spent some time on the Packers practice squad, making his first NFL start this afternoon. Off the play fake to Warren. Aikman with time, and the pass was short, intended for Tucker.
I know that wasn't complete, but Troy Aikman wanted to throw that ball to Rocket Ismail, and I think that Troy Vincent has done an outstanding job today of covering Rocket. And a lot of times he's had coverage just by himself without any help over the top, and you see him here in his vision. He's got both the quarterback and the receiver, and he's had excellent coverage all day long.
3rd and 10. Aikman to Ismail. Alan Rossum made the tackle, 5 yards shy of the first down marker, and the Cowboys go 3 and out.
Well, one thing Troy Aikman said to us yesterday, he said, you know, the teams that have really done well against this Eagles defense have been Carolina and Indianapolis, and they kept the pressure on. They kept throwing the ball even when they had a lead in the second half. Because if you don't, the Eagles will hang in there. They are tenacious, and they will climb back in it on you.
Most of their games have been close. In fact, in all 5 division losses, the Eagles either led or were tied in the 4th quarter. Fair catch by Rossum following the 36-yard punt by Goen.
Put the gun down and I'll give...
Early 3rd quarter from Texas Stadium. Cowboys leading the Eagles 13-3.
And Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb, in his first 2 starts, struggled the way you would expect a rookie to struggle. Then his last 2 starts, he really looked good. 59%, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Well, today, he's back down to those earlier numbers.
As you mentioned earlier, this is the best defense he has faced. Penalty flag. It's against the Eagles.
So what this defense has done is forced them again to be one-dimensional because they've not given anything up in the running game.
Prior to the snap, false start offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jeff Dellenbach, the right guard.
Yeah, but that running game, now they've got 49 yards running, the Eagles, but 24 of those were McNabb on scrambles. So the other 25 yards have come on 9 plays, and that's a defense dominating the line of scrimmage.
1st and 15 from the 11-yard line. Lewis in motion. McNabb in trouble, and he got rid of it.
Yeah, that's going to be a safety. That'll be a safety right there.
Intentional grounding from the end zone is a safety. Some of the Cowboys making the safety signal.
Yeah, that pass doesn't. A lot of people think that to not have intentional grounding, it has to just be in the pass has to be in a receiver's area, but it has to be realistic possibility for it to be caught.
There was no intentional grounding because there was a receiver, but we do have illegal touching. The pass was touched by number 71.
Well, the ball has to have a realistic chance of being caught. And that's how the rule reads. You can't just have a guy in the area and gun it to his feet. It's got to have. There has to be some possibility. And here's Deuce Staley's right in here in the middle. We'll take a look right here from the end zone. There's Staley there. I don't think that's a proper call. I really don't. I think it should be a safety.
Illegal touching is declined. Second down.
Crowd not happy with the call. Jermaine Mayberry called for the illegal touch. Penalty was declined, and now Andy Reid talking about it with the side judge, Tom Finken. Second and 15. 3 wide receivers set. Staley has some running room. His best run of the day across the 25 to the 27-yard line. A gain of 14 yards. Kavika Pittman made the tackle.
That's the biggest non-Donovan McNabb run we've seen all day, and it comes out of a passing situation where the Cowboys defense has their Philadelphia backed up, and they open up. There's a big lane right here, and Doug Brzezinski kind of eats up Brandon Noble to create that lane. There's Brzezinski right there, and that's a nice block by Brzezinski to really spring Deuce Staley on the draw.
3rd and 1. Staley looking for the first down. He's underneath the pile, and we'll see where the officials spot the ball. Looks as if the Eagles were stopped short. Here come the chains. Cowboys defense held them once again, and the Eagles send out the punting unit.
Well, Changali's defense comes on a slant, and they slant the linebacker and the line, and so they get penetration, and then Randall Godfrey, the inside linebacker, is able to slide out, so the penetration and the slide stop the Eagles on that conversion.
Sanders has averaged only 2 yards per punt return, 4 total yards on 2 returns, well under his season average. Good kick by Landeta, forcing Dion all the way back to the 17-yard line. This time, a 13-yard return following the 56-yard punt. Ike Reese downfield to make the tackle. .9:44 remaining, third quarter. Cowboys with a 10-point lead as they start from their own 33-yard line. Rocket Ismail in motion. Aikman to the air on first down. Swings it out to Chris Warren out of the backfield. Forced out of bounds at the 41-yard line by Barry Gardner after a gain of 8.
We haven't seen a lot of Deion Sanders on offense in the second half. I really think that Changali has figured out that this shorter passing game is working well. Now Deion's coming in right now. There he is. But I think that shorter passing game has been a successful thing for the Cowboys.
Deion has caught 2 passes today. 2nd and 2. Warren. Another first down for Chris Warren. Up to the 48-yard line, a gain of 7.
It's nice blocking here by the Cowboys offensive line. They run this right in behind Eric Williams. And you see the block that he puts on the linebacker. It just drives him almost out of the picture.
What a luxury, Tim, for the Cowboys. You lose Emmitt Smith. His backup is a 4-time 1,000-yard rusher, the 6th active leading rusher in the NFL.
Remember, a lot of people thought Chris Warren was going to come in and replace Emmitt Smith, which certainly has not happened, but Warren's done a great job.
Aikman's pass is caught. Rocket Ismail all the way down to the Eagles' 26-yard line, a gain of 26.
And this is what they like in Dallas. Throw that rock downfield. And Troy Aikman really makes this happen by scrambling. And he gives Ismail time to separate from Troy Vincent. And the pass is placed perfectly, so that Ismail barely has to slow down to catch it. But Aikman did a great job eluding the rush.
Ismail again in motion. Warren pounds his way to the 25, a gain of 2. And for a Fox NFL update, let's head to the Fox Network Center and James Brown.
All right, Brett Favre getting uncorked here. Take a look at Donald Driver as he drags across the middle here. 8-yard touchdown reception from Brett Favre to put Green Bay up 21-17. And the Giants have added a field goal. They're now on top of Buffalo 16-10. Late in the third, back to Kenny Albert and the network number 2, Tim Green.
Thanks, JB. Hey, and you could tell Chris Collinsworth, I know Dion could announce games too. I know he could take my job. I'm a big enough man to admit it.
2nd and 8. Aikman to the near side to Bjornsson. A gain of 16 yards.
Well, once again, Troy Aikman is really using his total passing game. If Bjornsson is going to come across, he breaks downfield and he breaks to the outside, and the pass is perfectly placed by Troy Aikman. And this is the strength of Troy Aikman. Look at that pass. I mean, look at the spiral. It was a perfect spiral. The ball was perfectly placed to an out cut on the other side of the field.
1st and goal from the 9. Warren. Gain of 1 yard down to the 8. Barry Gardner made the stop.
This has been an area that the Cowboys struggled in the red zone last week against the New England Patriots. It's been an area where some people feel they've been a little conservative and tried to run the ball in from here. And I think Chan Gailey, the offensive mixture that he's found in this game, may be a blueprint that he'll want to carry this team through the rest of this season and into the playoffs.
He feels if they make the playoffs, they can do some damage. On 2nd and goal. Aikman looking end zone. Touchdown. David LaFleur, his team leading 6th of the season.
Another perfect pass by Troy Aikman, but David LaFleur does an excellent job of hanging on to this football. Watch the hit that Dawkins lays on him. I mean, Dawkins absolutely uncorks, and LaFleur hangs on.
Eddie Murray for the point after. As the Cowboys have extended their lead, it is now Dallas 20. Philadelphia 3. In Dallas following the 8-yard touchdown pass from Troy Aikman to David LaFleur. Aikman has just tied a legend. 2nd place on the Cowboys all-time touchdown list for a quarterback. Danny White, the leader with 155. Staubach and Aikman, 153.
And Troy Aikman certainly belongs right up there next to Roger Staubach. 2 great quarterbacks that will be remembered for the championships that they won and the leadership that they provided on the field and exemplary people off the field. I'm sure Roger Staubach is proud to have Troy Aikman and he mentioned in the same breath, and vice versa as well.
On 1st down from the 20, Deuce Staley. Another nice run, picks up an Eagles 1st down, a gain of 15.
You know, that's the last 2 runs Deuce Staley has made have been nice, and he's on both of them, he's broken to the outside. The one was the draw play where we saw Doug Brzezinski make a block and free him, and this time he gets the corner. So his first half, which was really sluggish, has really come alive here with these last 2 runs.
He also had a slow first half in the last game against Dallas, then gained 100 yards after halftime. McNabb over the top. What a hit!
Wow.
By Randall Godfrey. The fullback, Cecil Martin, still down.
Martin just runs an angle route here. He comes out and releases into the center of the field, and Godfrey uncorks on him.
Martin, the rookie out of Wisconsin. He was the lead blocker for Ron Dane last year. Dane won the Heisman Trophy last night as Martin was walloped by Godfrey.
It's a pretty classic tackle. I mean, you hope that Martin is not hurt, but I guarantee it knocked the breath right out of him. Yeah, and he's saying he's all right, and it looks like he's all right. And that's the good thing about those shoulder pads. Have got nice protection there on your chest. They come down here, and they give you a nice. There's good padding there. So when you get a helmet in that area, usually the worst it does is it knocks the breath out of you.
And you talk about a guy who has fought through adversity. Martin lived in a homeless shelter with his mother when he was recruited by Wisconsin. Now starting for the Eagles as a rookie. 2nd and 7. McNabb hit by Spellman. The ball is loose and it bounces out of bounds. This time Spellman got him.
Alonzo Spellman is really a nice story. He had the tragic circumstances up in Chicago. Look at the power. Look how fast he just blasts straight upfield and then redirects to get to the quarterback. A lot of guys can go straight upfield and get by an offensive lineman, but Spellman has the athletic ability to get up and then redirect his momentum to get to the quarterback. Well, Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator, said he loves guys who overcome adversity, and Alonzo Spellman has overcome a lot of adversity.
McNabb on 3rd and 20, runs into his own man, Pollelay, still on his feet, and the pass was short, intended for Damian Douglas.
Man, they shellacked Donovan McNabb.
And a couple of late penalty markers come out. About 10 seconds after the play ended, 2 markers came flying.
Ineligible player downfield. On the passing team, number 61, penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's Steve Everett, the center. Who's had a nice year this year. The last couple years he struggled with injuries in Philadelphia and not played as well as they'd hoped. This year he's played well.
Sanders had his best return the last time. But again, terrific special teams coverage by the Eagles. This time Barry Gardner made the tackle. 37-yard punt, only a 3-yard return by Sanders.
Game of the new millennium.
Texas and Arkansas. Here's Warren up to the 42-yard line. A gain of 1. Jeremiah Trotter made the tackle.
Kenny, we've talked about Troy Aikman's passing game and what it's been, and take a look at it here. The wide receivers have caught 7 of 15 for 89 yards, but if you combine these, the tight ends and running backs, they actually have more total yardage, 96 total yards, and more total catches, 9 catches. So that distribution, I think, really signifies what's happened to the Cowboys passing game today.
Aikman off the play fake, has time, and the pass was bobbled and then dropped by Warren.
Eric Williams almost caught that pass.
Akers pass intended for number 42, Chris Warren.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, which he could do because he wasn't the first offensive player to touch it. An eligible receiver, Warren's touching it and he bobbles it. Watch Eric Williams come in here. That's pretty heads-up play for an offensive tackle.
Williams grew up a tremendous Eagles fan in Philadelphia, playing against his hometown team. 3rd and 9 from the 42-yard line. Cowboys leading by 17 points. Aikman's pass complete to Chris Brazel. His first catch, elevated from the practice squad this week.
And that's an interesting matchup, too, because Brazel is a tall, physical player, and Bobby Taylor, actually, it's Al Harris who's covering him, is a tall, physical player as well. Brazel does a nice job. He shows some nice game there. He kind of slapped Al Harris's hands down. He came back and showed some nice timing. Now, this is what the Cowboys need. With all the injuries to the wide receiver position, they need Jason Tucker and Chris Brazel to step in to be a counterpoint to Rocket.
From the 46, here's Warren. Works his way down to the 43-yard line. A gain of 3. Jeremiah Trotter made the tackle.
I think it's important to remember, too, that the success the Cowboys are having with their passing game is coming against a defense that's a good pass defense. The Eagles' defense is ranked 12 in pass defense. They've got a nice core of defensive backs, 2 hard-hitting safeties in Houck and Dawkins, and real nice depth at cornerback led by Troy Vincent.
Second and 7. Warren up the middle, down to the 39-yard line. A gain of 4. William Thomas made the tackle.
Chris Warren on the carry. Tackle by number 94.
In case you joined us late, Emmitt Smith carried the ball once early in the first quarter,
3rd down.
suffering from a strained left groin. So it has been Chris Warren handling the bulk of the running chores. He started one game with Smith out earlier this year and gained 85 yards against the Green Bay Packers.
He's got 52 yards today. He's done an admirable job, and so is the fullback, Robert Thomas. He's done a nice job blocking for him.
3rd and 3. Warren. And he's stopped about a yard shy of the first down marker.
Stopped by Kelly.
Well, with a 20-3 lead, the Cowboys are opting to be conservative.
Toby going out to punt with under 2 minutes remaining. 3rd quarter. Kenny Albert, Tim Green from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Chan Gailey's Cowboys looking to make it 6-0 here at home. Alan Rossum is back deep for the Eagles. Rossum lets it go, and it takes a Cowboys bounce. It does not roll into the end zone, as Rossum had hoped for. Only 27 yards on the punt, but that is exactly what the Cowboys wanted, hitting the Eagles in deep. Joe Avezzano, Cowboys special teams coach.
Well, once again, the Cowboys defense has Donovan McNabb in a precarious spot. His back is to the end zone, and
on first down, here's Staley. Another big run for Staley, and he's leveled by Darren Woodson, but he gets right back up and signals first down.
You have to admire Deuce Staley's toughness. That's exactly what you want to do. Pop right off the ground, and you really deflate the excitement that everyone had for Woodson's hit. This is what Darren Woodson does so well. He accelerates in through the tackle. It's another nice run by Deuce Staley. Watch this hit. Whack. Takes him right off his feet. Watch how quick Staley, he just recovered right away.
And the Cowboys have recovered the fumble. The second Eagles turnover today. Brandon Noble on the recovery. The first-year defensive lineman out of Penn State.
That's not a good sign right there. They have Donovan McNabb hobbling. And he looks like he's in some real pain.
Following the turnover, Cowboys get the ball right back on the Eagles' 23. And another completion to the tight end, David LaFleur, his 4th catch of the day.
Take a look at that fumble there. Donovan McNabb fumbles the snap. And Leon Lett is on him so fast, and that's where I think he hurt his leg. So it's a bad exchange between Everett and McNabb. And McNabb got hurt.
Time winding down in this 3rd quarter. And Aikman will let it wind all the way down. So the Cowboys will begin the 4th with 2nd and 5 on the 18. And the Cowboys call timeout. The play clock was winding down with less time than the game clock, so Aikman forced to call timeout as he chats things over with Gailey. 7 seconds remaining. 3rd quarter, and the concern on the other sideline, of course, is for Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb.
Well, the bright side for the Eagles, if Donovan is unable to return to this game, is that Doug Peterson certainly knows the offense. He's a capable backup. You see Donovan's numbers today were not great numbers, but a lot of that I think was more due to the Cowboys defense than it was any ineptitude by Donovan McNabb. They shut down his run game early in the game, forced him to be one-dimensional, and put a lot of pressure on McNabb with a 4-man rush.
Following the timeout, 2nd and 5, Warren. And this will be the final play of the 3rd quarter, with the Cowboys leading the Eagles 20-3. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these words from your local Fox station.
Quarterback being attended to on the sideline, and we have another angle of his injury, and it looks horrific. There he is right here. Watch his leg. I mean, that's not the way the knee is supposed to go. I hope that's not as bad as it looks. That looked like a total knee.
Aikman firing end zone, deflected away by Bobby Taylor. Jason Tucker, the intended receiver.
Again, I go back to the fact that I think Troy Aikman is really finding some confidence in Jason Tucker. That's pretty remarkable because he's a rookie. He's being covered by a very capable cornerback right here. Bobby Taylor, he's tall, but Aikman puts this thing up for grabs and allows Tucker to leap up and try to make a play. The coverage by Bobby Taylor is just too good. You see that? He's tall and he's long, and he got his hand right up there and just tipped the ball.
Eddie Murray, 33-yard attempt, and this one is wide right. So Murray is now 2 of 4 today. The 43-year-old two-time Pro Bowler who was re-signed this week misses from 33 yards. Doug Peterson in at quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Penalty markers on 1st and 10.
False start, offense number 74, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's the left guard, Doug Brzezinski. Donovan McNabb on the sidelines. And Doug Peterson, who came over from Green Bay with Andy Reid. He knows this system very well. He started the first 9 games for the Eagles. In fact, he led their comeback win over Dallas back in October. as Staley gains 4 yards. And right now, let's head to the Fox Network Center for this NFL update with James Brown.
Kenny and Tim, Giants were in red zone territory. Kerry Collins has his pass tipped by Sean Price. Marcellus Wiley picks it out of the air. Hey, Tim Green, take a look. 52 yards later, I don't think he wants the end zone. He heads to the sidelines, but the Bills did score and now up by 1. Back to Kenny and Tim.
Well, I'm sure he wanted the end zone, JB, but I think he ran out of gas.
Peterson's pass is caught by Torrance Small. Marcellus Wiley out of Columbia University, one of the few Ivy Leaguers to make the NFL, rumbling downfield with the interception.
Yeah, and a nice play for him, and a nice play there for Doug Peterson. Again, Donovan McNabb, I don't know if they realize how serious that injury is until they see it. And they see that replay, you see what that thing looked like.
3rd and 1. Peterson's pass is caught by Staley for a first down out to the 38-yard line.
I tell you, Doug Peterson is throwing the ball with authority. He's really zipped in those first 2 passes in a nice way. And his offensive line has also given him some nice protection.
It's his 7th year in the NFL. Before this season, he had never started a game. He had thrown only 32 pass attempts. Spent the first 3.5 years of his career in Miami before heading up north to Green Bay. Staley cuts to the outside and picks up another Eagles first down. So Deuce Staley continuing his terrific running in the second half.
You know, the Eagles offense is really coming to life here, and they've got a lot of time. And I know they're 17 points down, but things are really working well, and Staley does a nice job of cutting on this. He draws the defense and then bounces to the outside and avoids the linebackers. So Staley running really well in the last 5 carries, and Peterson throwing well.
1-yard pickup. Randall Godfrey made the tackle, and a penalty marker on the far side.
Yeah, that's over there where Deion Sanders is. Eagles, of course, didn't want to throw the ball his way at all today.
Too many men in the field. On the defensive team, the man running off did not get off the field. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And the Cowboys still have 12 men on the field.
Well, that had nothing to do with Deion.
So the Cowboys called for too many men, setting up 1st and 5 on the Cowboys 46. Peterson's pass is caught by the tight end Luther Broughton. Knocked out of bounds by Darren Woodson, and they report on Donovan McNabb a sprained left knee.
Yeah,
and he will not return.
I will tell you this, and again, I hope that it's only a sprained left knee, and maybe that's what it is. It's certainly possible, but it's also, I've seen sprained left knees turn into, you know, total knees and ACL and ligaments and all that. And we're going to take another look at it, because if it's just a sprain, there it is right there, I'll be surprised, but it may be. I mean, he's a strong-legged guy.
2nd and 1 from the 42, and Staley,
I think he may have gotten that first
looked
down.
to have the first down, and then he was driven back by Randall Godfrey.
It's going to be very close whether he got it or didn't get it. Deuce Staley came into this game just a little bit ahead of Emmitt Smith in the rushing category.
Staley 3rd in the NFL. Emmitt was 4th.
Yeah, of course, Emmitt Smith hurt after the first play and has not returned to the game. Chris Warren for the Cowboys has done an admirable job filling in for him. 18 carries and 56 yards.
Staley has set a new career high today with 77 yards on 15 carries and a big second half. And he was stopped just short. Generous spot for the Cowboys, so Staley does not pick up the first down.
Look at the disparity here. In the first half, Staley 2.4 a carry. Second half, 8.3 yards a carry.
Similar, Tim, to the first meeting with the Cowboys. He had 10 yards in the first half, 100 in the second.
Yeah, he has really come to life here.
3rd and inches. Peterson on the quarterback sneak.
You got that.
Doug Peterson on the keeper. 1st and 10, Philadelphia.
Well, I like what the Eagles did. They emptied the backfield, and in a short yardage situation, what happens in your brain as a defender is you see that empty backfield, and so you're thinking pass, and you kind of forget about the quarterback sneak, or it creates a little bit of hesitation in you as a defender.
Off the play fake. Peterson's pass is caught for another first down. Torrance Small down to the Cowboys 23.
Tell you what, they threw that right at Deion Sanders too. Peterson's passing has been so exact. So this is a nice route by Torrance Small. He just does a little bit of a comeback here. Deion's playing him deep, and watch the delivery of this pass. It's outstanding. It's an outstanding throw by Doug Peterson. Right now he's 4 for 4.
From the 24, Peterson hit. The ball is loose. It's still loose. Recovered by the Cowboys. Recovered by Leon Lett.
Leon Lett came through the line of scrimmage so fast, it looked like he knew the snap count. Here's Leon Lett right here, and watch how quickly he comes off the ball. That's incredible quickness for a man that big. And that's what Leon Lett does. You tend to forget about Leon Lett. He was out for many weeks with a drug suspension, and now he's back and getting himself into better shape, and that's spectacular. That's what he does. The quickness of a big man off the line of scrimmage.
And he does it so well, and has for many years. Cowboys with that deep defensive line, although they lost Greg Ellis today. But they use all 8. They rotate all 8 defensive linemen throughout the game.
And that's a huge defensive play because, again, the Eagles were really starting to get into an offensive rhythm there. Doug Peterson was 4 for 4, and Deuce Staley's been running for over 8 yards a carry in this second half. So it was a fortuitous turnover for Leon Lett to come up with.
Chris Warren, penalty marker in the offensive backfield, as Warren gains 1 yard on the carry. It's holding against Dallas.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 77, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's the second illegal hands to the face penalty on Solomon Page. And here he is right here. And there he gets his hand right up and actually hooks the face mask. What a beautiful shot. Great picture. Nice call by the officials to see that.
Off by Bobby Taylor.
And that's a miscommunication between Chris Brazel and Troy Aikman. Aikman thought he was going to zig and Brazel zagged. And that's what can happen. The inexperienced player off the practice squad. See that's just a miscommunication. The only guy that has a shot at it is Taylor.
Tom Myslinski is now in at center for the Cowboys, replacing Mark Stepnoski. 2nd and 20. Aikman under pressure. And he dumps it off to Warren. Back to the original line of scrimmage. And more. First down to the Eagles' 42. A gain of 26 yards.
So this is the 4th pass that Chris Warren has caught. And he's got 48 yards in the air. Nice pressure by the Eagles. They get on Troy Aikman, force him to scramble. He just dumps it off to Chris Warren, and then Warren breaks one tackle, and then accelerates through a couple more.
From the 42, the pitch back to Warren. He fumbled, and it looks like the Eagles have it. The first Dallas turnover, recovered by Tyrone Williams, who led the NFL Europe in sacks this past summer. Recovers the fumble.
With the ball back after defensive lineman Steve Martin jars this loose right there, and then Tim Houck just pops that ball right out of there.
And then Tyrone Williams on the recovery, 3 yards for Deuce Staley on first down. As we approach 8 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. On 2nd and 7, the first incompletion for Peterson, who had been 4 for 4.
Yeah, that really didn't matter too much anyway, because Dexter Coakley smelled that thing out, and he split the blockers, and he was right there to make the tackle if Staley did catch that screen pass.
Andy Reid has given Peterson so much credit for the development of Donovan McNabb. He said Peterson's like a coach on the field. He's been invaluable for McNabb's learning process. And penalty markers on 3rd and 8. It has started to rain here in Dallas, as was the case all day yesterday.
False start offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Doug Brzezinski with his 2nd offsides today. He's an interesting character.
Certainly a character.
Into Middle Eastern philosophy. No, not Middle East. Eastern philosophy, and he's got his earrings and his Zen thing going, and
meditation.
Meditation, yeah.
Third and 13. 3 wideouts for the Eagles. Peterson steps up and throws towards Small.
Got it.
Got it. He stayed in bounds.
You know, once again, this is a spectacular throw by Doug Peterson. He has been so exact with his passing. You really have to admire it. This is a long pass, too. This is an out cut here. It's a deep out cut. There's nice protection. Look at the spiral on that ball. And Torrance Small does a nice job of keeping his knees in bounds.
And as you mentioned last week, 1 knee equals 2 feet.
That's right. 2 knees equals 4 feet.
Staley bottled up George Teague, the first man in, and then Leon Lett.
You know, it's one thing to come on a blitz, and that's what it was. George Teague on the safety blitz and cause a disruption in the backfield. But it's another thing to come in and you're rushing the quarterback and be able to readjust and make a tackle on a draw play.
2nd and 14. Peterson's pass complete. Dietrich Gels, the speedster. His first catch of the day, brought down by Teague after a gain of 21 and an Eagles first down.
And Dietrich Gels, you got to see the speed on that one. George Teague smiling. That thing, he caught it across the middle and just turned it on.
From the Cowboys 24. 3 wide receivers. Peterson lobbing it up, and it's caught for a touchdown by Nay Brown.
That was a beautiful catch. Nate Brown reads this pass perfectly. The coverage is there. Singor Mobley's got the cover. No, excuse me, it's not Singor Mobley. It's Dwayne Hawthorne's got the coverage perfectly. And watch Nate Brown read this, and he comes back and makes the catch. It was really, really nice body control by Nate Brown.
His first NFL touchdown. Norm Johnson for the point after. Johnson extends his NFL record, 293 consecutive extra points.
Nate Brown with an outstanding catch on that touchdown.
First of his career, cutting the Dallas lead to 10 points. Chris Warren down to a knee in the end zone for the touchback.
Mark Stepnowski, the Cowboys center, I don't think you can undervalue what he's done today in helping that passing game, because Troy Aikman had a lot of time, and Stepnowski, as the center who was in there most of the day, orchestrated the right protections, and Aikman had time to make the passing game work. Of course, he re-aggravated his strained calf, and Myslinski's in there again to replace him, but Stepnowski did a beautiful job today, I think, protecting Troy Aikman.
Cowboys start from their own 20-yard line. Warren, first down, a gain of 12. Damon Moore made the tackle.
Well, Warren did a nice job on that play, just slapping William Thomas's hands down. William Thomas comes up to make the tackle, number 51. And watch how Chris Warren, here's Williams. Watch, he just slaps that hand down. You see that? He just takes his hand and just slaps Williams' hands down. So Williams is not able to wrap his arms around Warren. And there's another look at Mark Stepnowski, another cerebral offensive lineman. You know, we talked about Doug Brzezinski, and he and Stepnowski are kind of cut out of the same cloth.
Although Stepnowski has not read any of your books.
Oh, but he will.
He has.
But he said he was going to.
Another 12-yard gain. Tim Houck made the stop. As the Cowboys are heading towards a 7-6 record. Giants, if they win, would also be 7-6. But as we saw about 10 minutes ago, the Bills did take the lead, 17-16.
And you know, as far as Washington, Arizona, I don't think Cowboys fans should lament the fact that Washington's winning, because Arizona owns the tiebreakers with the Cowboys because of their great divisional record.
So it's almost better for the Cowboys if the Redskins win today and then lose another game.
Well, the point is that the Cowboys really need both of those teams to lose a game. The Cowboys need Arizona to lose one, and they need Washington to lose one. So if today Arizona loses one, then they still have a shot for Washington the next several weeks.
And that is because Arizona has the best division record at 5-2.
But things, you know, right now with Buffalo on top of the Giants, if they hold that lead, this is going to be a really decisive day for Chan Gailey. They will take sole possession of second place in this division with a better schedule than Washington to finish out.
Cowboys' last three opponents, the Jets next week here at home, the Saints on the road, and the Giants at home.
Full start, offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And as you saw earlier, the combined records of the remaining opponents' schedule certainly favors Dallas.
Yeah, but again, the important thing for Dallas, not only because they don't want to just go to the playoffs and slide in. They really want a championship. Chan Gailey talked about it this week. That's why Troy Aikman continues to play the game. That is his holy grail. That is his quest. And to do it, they have to have their passing game continue to evolve to a higher level.
Aikman's pass is caught by the fullback, Robert Thomas. Another penalty marker.
Today, the Cowboys passing game, I think, took that first step for a lot of reasons. And one, Stepnowski was back. Two, Dion got out there and I think made the Philadelphia Eagles shift some coverages, opened some things up to the inside. Three, Aikman got the ball to his tight ends and his running backs. And four, I think some of the younger guys, I mean, Jason Tucker had a fine day today. And we saw Chris Brazzell make some nice plays too. So I think that the Cowboys should feel pretty optimistic about where their passing game has come.
On the offensive team, substitute came in the field and did not come in as far as the numbers. Penalty is declined, third down.
They may get Ernie Mills back next week. He sprained his quad in warm-ups last week. McGarity is on IR. Irvin is on IR. They cut Alvin Harper.
Yeah, but really, again, today, they've come up with some alternatives to Rocket Ismail. Ismail right here.
3rd and 12, 3 wide receivers. Aikman's pass intended for Ismail. Broken up by Bobby Taylor.
Bobby Taylor uses his arms and his hands so well.
So the Eagles will get the ball back with 4.5 to play.
Troy Aikman again, he gets hit here on the blitz, but watch Bobby Taylor. I mean, that's perfect coverage. The pass was good, the route was good, but Bobby Taylor uses those long arms and got in there, and that's not the first time we've seen him slap a ball down and cause an incompletion.
So be going, good hang time. Allen Rossum, and he is driven right back by Chris Akins, 43-yard punt. Akins downfield with another good play on special teams. Coming up next, the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader as the Detroit Lions in a battle for first place in the NFC Central meet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Some of you will see the Falcons and the 49ers. It's all coming up next right here on Fox.
And those two teams, you know, you talk about the mixture and the playoff hunt, and that's got to be a game you have to see. I mean, Detroit and Tampa Bay are both right in the thick of the whole thing.
Deuce Staley gains 4 yards up to the 19.
I mean, really, the Eagles need to be throwing the football. They don't need to be running Deuce Staley up the middle. Because, you know, I mean, I've seen teams come back from 10-point deficit with 4 minutes left, but you got to do it through the air. And Peterson has thrown the ball extremely well.
Peterson with the completion for the first down. Dietrich Gels, his second catch of the game. Remember last week, Eagles led by 10 with about 8 minutes to go, and the Arizona Cardinals came back. Less time for the Eagles today, only 3.5 remaining.
This is Andy Reid's thing. He's an offensive coordinator. He's an offensive-minded guy.
Peterson's pass deflected. Chad Hennings got a piece of it.
Steve Everett a little upset at himself that he didn't catch it. Now again, Everett can't be the first guy to touch it, but once a defensive player touches it, it's like Eric Williams before. Once an eligible player touches the ball, then you can pick it up. Here's Hennings. This is the second time we've seen him knock a ball down today. Bang. So once he hits it, now it's anybody's ball. And Everett almost had it.
Hennings also broke up 2 passes in the previous game against Philadelphia.
I think Hennings, you see him on the sideline there, has had a really fine year because he's been able to rest. They've rotated that D-line.
Off the fingertips of the intended receiver. Downfield, the tight end Luther Broughton.
Well, Doug Peterson really had some pressure on him on that play. Cowboys run a stunt here. Watch it here, and then the end loops around. Watch Kavika Pittman. So it's cleared out by Spellman, and Pittman comes through. It just hits Peterson right in the breadbasket. Peterson's asking for the play. He's going to have to take a timeout because the play clock was winding down to 5 seconds.
First timeout charged to the Eagles this half. with 3:15 remaining. Dallas leading by 10.
Deion Sanders, of course, today playing as a receiver and returning punts on special teams. Played every snap as a cornerback. The Eagles avoided throwing to him, except that one play we saw him throw a comeback to Torrance Small. There's his wristbands. Now, Deion had these, all the offensive plays were written. There's one on one wrist and then one on the other. He said, I don't want to know about all the stuff that comes before it. I just want to know X go. So 359, blue right trips. I just want the X go part. And then that tells me what to do.
Peterson on the pump fake. And then he overthrows by about 10 yards. Nay Brown.
Yeah, he wanted Nay Brown to break to the post. And that's what he's telling him there. No, but Nay Brown, that was really an impressive catch that he made for that touchdown. Yeah, Andy Reid also wanted it to break to the post.
No need to look at the wristbands on a punt return. Deion knows what to do on these. He returned one for a touchdown against the Eagles last year. From the 21. Taken down at the 24-yard line. Deion has had only one punt return of more than 4 yards today. James Darling made the tackle.
I think two things have caused it. One, Sean Landeta has gotten a lot of hang time on these punts. Most of them have been way up in the air, and then the coverage guys have done a super job.
5 punt returns, only 25 yards total for Deion, who has also caught 2 passes in the game.
And I think that on those 2 passes, the Eagles defense did a nice job of limiting him. And they did a nice job of covering him. And on the catches that he had, you see all the involvement that he had today.
Now the Cowboys will try and run the clock down. Under 3 minutes to go.
I'll tell you, that one crossing route they threw to Deion, he took such a shot from Troy Vincent that I would imagine that won't be in play. He's going to want to run again.
And Troy Vincent told us yesterday, I don't think Deion will run slants just for that reason.
Yeah, he kind of, you could kind of see him drooling a little bit. I mean, he wanted Deion to run some slants. He was anxious to be able to take a shot. But Troy Vincent has had a Pro Bowl type season this year. I don't know if he'll go to the Pro Bowl, but you know, because that voting is not always go to the best guy, and a lot of times it goes to the guy on the winning team or a guy who has a bigger name. But he has played at a level that could certainly earn him a spot in the Pro Bowl.
Following the timeout, 2nd and 9. Warren. Another first down for Chris Warren. 12-yard pickup. A season high 96 yards today for Warren. Replacing Emmitt Smith, who carried 1 time back in the first quarter and has sat due to a sprained left groin. Eagles call timeout, stopping the clock with 2:14 remaining. And that is their final timeout. Coming up next on Fox NFL Sunday, some of you will see the first place battle between the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Others will watch the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. That's coming up in the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Tremendous job here in Dallas by our entire crew, led by producer Rich Russo, director Peter Bleckner, associate director Marcy Kempner, broadcast associate Robert Slosby, technical producer Kevin McRobey, technical director Dave Bernstein. The pregame show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorin and David Hill. Crunching the numbers for us here in Dallas, Eric Merlis, Dave Brooks, Mark Cole, and Mike Eldridge. With the Cowboys leading the Eagles 20-10. Mark Stepnoski also re-aggravated his sprained left calf. A lot of injuries today on the Cowboys side. Greg Ellis, Kevin Mathis, and of course, Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb. Warren, in his pursuit of 100, will not get it on this play. Ike Reese, a loss of 1.
Chris Warren.
As we hit the 2-minute warning in Dallas. Cowboys 2 minutes away from making it a perfect 6-0 here at home. Kenny Albert, Tim Green back in Dallas. Cowboys coming off their poor effort in New England last Sunday. Have turned things around here today and will keep pace with the Washington Redskins in the NFC East. All smiles on the Cowboys sidelines. The end around to the Rocket Ismail. And he picks up the first down out to the 47, a gain of 12.
Boy, that was a nice job by Rocket putting his shoulder down and driving through Troy Vincent. I imagine Troy Vincent was surprised. You know, Rocket has such great quickness. You wouldn't expect him to lower his shoulder, but he does. Watch him lower the shoulder there and drive right through the tackle.
So that first down will just about wrap things up for the Cowboys. Eagles do not have any timeouts left. And including regular season and playoffs, this will be the 100th career victory for Cowboys quarterback Troy Aikman. It will also be the 100th win of the decade for the Cowboys. They joined the 49ers as the only franchises to win 100 games in a decade twice. And more importantly for Chan Gailey, a record of 7-6 in the NFC East, as well as owner Jerry Jones.
And again, just as important for the Cowboys is the turn that their passing game took today. Aikman 22 of 40, 242 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. He's been fantastic in that category this season. And I think the way he distributed the ball was something a little bit different. Got the ball to the tight ends. David LaFleur had a nice day and a touchdown. Bjornsson had some catches. Chris Warren was active. And then his young receivers, Jason Tucker and Chris Brazel, came on to provide a little bit of a compliment to Rocket Ismail. And, of course, Deion Sanders was out there as well.
And Aikman has now gone 6 consecutive games without throwing an interception. So the Cowboys and the Eagles split their season series. 20-10 victory for the Cowboys here at Texas Stadium. We'll return after these messages right here on Fox.